Welcome to @Cronkite News, your social sharing connection where you choose the news. Facebook likes and shares, tweets, retweets, and favorites. YouTube views and subscriptions. We're watching you watch us. From our digital home at cronkitenews.azpbs.org to your television, web browser, or mobile device. Let's get a refresh on the top Arizona news of the week.
Thousands of Arizonans work each day as caregivers, taking care of a spouse, parent, child, or friend, but sometimes the amount of care needed can be overwhelming. Reporter Jesse Schultz caught up with one Valley caregiver for insight on just how stressful the job can be.
Programs like Foundation for Senior Living, Area Agency on Aging, AARP, and the Arizona Caregiver Coalition all offer unique support programs for caregivers, and the need is great.
Sometimes I would just kind of lay on the ground and tell myself to breathe and get through that minute.
You'd think that Ken Koch lost the love of his life, and in some ways he did.
There's a grieving process that begins. It's not that the person has passed away, they're grieving the past relationship.
7 years ago, Ken's wife Mary had a malignant brain tumor. Its removal caused her to lose short-term memory, motor skills, and left her needing 24/7 care. The 64-year-old is also her full-time caregiver, and simple routines, like emptying the dishwasher, have become a form of therapy. Arizona State University professor David Kuhn has spent 20 years studying the stressors of caregivers.
Not everyone reacts in the same way. So some people experience depression, depressed mood. Some people experience frustration or anger. Others experience worry.
A recent study by the AARP reported that 55% of caregivers feel overwhelmed by the amount of care their loved one needs. Ken Koch, needing a break himself, now takes his wife Mary to the Adult Day Healthcare Center 3 times a week. One of the biggest stressors caregivers experience is a sense of isolation, all the while remembering back to happier times.
Very, very lonely. You lose your wife, you lose your way of life. I lost my career. I lost the home that we loved.
I think that they think that they're the only ones in that situation. They don't understand that there are so many in that situation.
In fact, according to the AARP, there are more than 45 million registered caregivers like Ken across the country.
It's very important to find ways to take care of themselves, because if they go down, it's not just themselves that's going down, it's also the person that they're providing assistance to.
While Mary's injury was one of the biggest changes in Koch's life, he calls it an inspiring journey.
I've learned so much about loving another human being.
To learn more about resources in the Valley, you can attend Foundation for Senior Living's Caregiver Resource and Relaxation Retreat on November 13th, or find the Area Agency on Aging Senior Help Hotline on our website, cronkitenews.azpbs.org. Live in the Media Center, Jesse Schultz, Cronkite News.
The planned Loop 202 extension, also known as South Mountain Freeway, is a controversial topic for all who will be affected by it. Cronkite News reporter Audrey Will traveled to its less-known path in the West Valley.
There are two sides to every freeway, and while many groups have demonstrated their opposition to the Loop 202 extension, one community is really looking forward to it. Traffic is a problem in Laveen.
To get to the I-10, I have to go up 51st Avenue, 35th Avenue, so the bunch of lights you have to pass. Sometimes most of them are red.
And residents are hopeful that South Mountain Freeway will fix that.
If you've ever driven on the Broadway curve during rush hour, go in the wrong direction, and you will benefit personally from the freeway.
The goal is less congestion, less pollution, and to complete the path of currently existing freeways.
If we do not continue to head with this project, we're going to see more traffic congestion, not only in that particular area, but also on our other freeways, including I-10 and the Broadway curve. And that additional traffic congestion will bring more pollution to the area.
Residents of Laveen are used to seeing ADOT signs, like this one located between Broadway and Buckeye. They represent the future path of the freeway. It will extend 22 miles in total, west along Pecos Road and north and south between 55th and 63rd Avenues.
We're like a lot of people that live in Laveen, kind of the silent majority who want to live close to downtown, want to live in a unique community like Laveen, and saw that the freeway was coming and took that as a hope to go ahead and move here. Part of the grand plan is for the freeway to be here. It's going to make it much more livable and make Laveen even better.
Finlay says he's been looking forward to the freeway for 11 years, but he'll have to wait a little bit longer because ADOT estimates it won't be open to traffic until 2019 at the earliest. In the Broadcast Center, Audrey Wheel, Cronkite News.
Environmentalists say too many condors are dying at the hands of hunters, despite what they call a simple solution. Cronkite News reporter Ebony Johnson joins us with more on this latest effort to expand the use of non-lead ammunition.
After another California condor has died from lead poisoning, the Arizona Game and Fish Department has decided to provide non-lead ammunition at all regional game and fish offices. When you come to a shooting range, your target is paper, and cleaning up bullet fragments isn't a concern. But outdoors, it's a different story. Environmentalists say too often hunters leave animal carcasses with lead fragments behind, and that kills condors, which feed on the dead animals. Gun expert Jesse Hansen says that the lead-based ammo is in fact dangerous for wildlife.
I think the best solution is education, is teaching new hunters about the environment and about the effects of lead on the environment.
To help save the birds, the Arizona Game and Fish Department has expanded the condor recovery program in hopes to decrease lead poisoning in wildlife.
The problems with the non-lead ammunition is that it's not readily available in small town. And so we instituted a lead reduction program where we have hunters voluntarily using non-lead ammunition.
Hunters say it's the cost of the bullets that's the real problem. Prices can be up to $10 more per box for the lead-free bullets compared to the traditional version. Regardless, Zufelt is certain that with time, this program will continue to grow.
As with any program, when it first starts, it's going to be slower, and so the word is getting out. People are coming and asking us for ammunition, which is great.
Hunters take care of the environment more than pretty much everybody else out there, because again, it's their passion, it's their hobby. If they don't keep it nice, it won't be there for them in the future.
According to the Game and Fish, between 85 to 91% of hunters have voluntarily agreed to use non-toxic ammo in the Condor Corps range. In the Broadcast Center, Ebony Johnson, Cronkite News.
The internet is the way of life these days, but what supports the physical side of the internet? Cronkite News reporter Alicia Leonage tells us how two Valley companies have come together to find an efficient solution.
That's the sound of our society in 2015.
Handheld books used to be all that we knew, until we pushed them aside. Now everything is just a click away.
But staying connected means increasing the demand for digital infrastructure. The internet relies on data centers, buildings that store and process all the information. SRP's Clint Poole says today data centers consume 2% of all the power in the United States.
By the year 2030, data centers could grow to the rate of 20% of all U.S. power consumption.
With the growth of technology comes the demand for more resources.
All of these things are driving the expansion of the internet. Physically, that means more telecommunications cables, more data centers bring more power lines.
Yet SRP spokesperson Jeff Lane says the utility is staying ahead of the curve.
This is the first time it's been done in the world where a modular data center has been plugged into essentially an SRP power station.
SRP teamed up with Baselayer, a Valley technology company that constructs the modular data centers. These data centers are not only concealed, but they are located at an SRP electric substation and are plugged into the most reliable power source.
We're driving costs down because of the power reliability, you need less power infrastructure to support the reliability requirement.
And that means fewer transmission lines crisscrossing the state. In Phoenix, Alicia Leonage, Cronkite News.
SRP powers the data stations with 100% renewable energy. This is through the Renewable Edit credit program. The Office of the Auditor General is raising some red flags regarding X-ray inspections in state health facilities. The auditor's report noted that the Arizona Radiation Regulatory Agency is not keeping up with their X-ray inspections of various statewide health facilities. According to the data, as of June 2015, nearly half of the 2,700 facilities reviewed were overdue for inspection.
Back in 2009, we were 26% overdue rather than 50% overdue. And because we had a staff reduction about that same time, we just gradually kept going up.
Officials at the ARRA said there are only 4 X-ray technicians licensed to conduct inspections in Arizona because the state isn't giving funding for more.
As Arizonans try to make sense of 4 different funding plans for education, we're learning more about Superintendent of Public Instruction Diane Douglas's plan. Cronkite News education reporter Angie Schuster breaks it down and takes a look at what questions the public has when it comes to how we're teaching our students.
This latest plan from Diane Douglas is 165 pages, so large she handed the plan to reporters on these flash drive bracelets. And notably, although Douglas does have the authority to implement her ideas, her plan would require the support of the Arizona State Board of Education, which could prove tricky.
I've never seen a superintendent of public instruction come out with a comprehensive solution to cure our education ills.
Superintendent Douglas discussed the 4 main focus areas of her plan at Thursday's news conference. Her plan calls for an immediate $400 million per year to be allocated to education for use of salaries and/or reducing classroom sizes, to integrate culturally inclusive programs that celebrate the diversity of Arizona students, creation of educational development zones to attract teachers to underserved education areas with financial incentives, and lastly, the elimination of the Common Core standards, which was one of the main points on her election platform.
I challenge the State Board of Education to vote at their very next meeting to reverse their previous actions and sever the ties between Arizona and the Common Core standards.
Funding is a main concern for Arizona voters. Our Public Insight Network Bureau released an inquiry asking what you think needs to be done to improve K-12 education in Arizona. Elizabeth Bishop responded saying the funding already appropriated and owed to the schools needs to be given to the schools. No more gimmicks by the governor to fund schools.
The revenues are already over the projections, and we've not really hit what are considered the biggest sales tax months yet. So I expect that they will be in the revenues already without raising taxes, and I can't think of a better way to spend them or a better way to put that money to good use than the children of Arizona.
During our one-on-one interview with Douglas, we asked the questions you tweeted to us. @ButtsMom tweeted us asking, do you think closing schools labeled failing is a productive way to improve education? Alternative ideas?
We have to have a comprehensive system to evaluate all our schools.
Let us know what you think should happen to Diane Douglas in K-12 education by visiting cronkitenews.azpbs.org and search Penn Bureau. In the Broadcast Center, Angie Schuster, Cronkite News.
5,952 juveniles were detained in 2014, according to Arizona juvenile courts. So what happens to teens and kids who commit crimes like burglary, shoplifting, and trespassing? The Juvenile Detention Alternative Initiative, or JDAI, looks to provide alternatives to putting them in detention centers or even solitary confinement. And they held a national conference in Phoenix this week.
With the idea of reform on everyone's mind, so is the thought of consequences that youth might face without some of these alternatives. Among those who shared their opinions and advocated for the program were adults who previously went through the court system as children but didn't have the option of alternative confinement.
If we don't provide youth with those opportunities to be the leaders of tomorrow, then we're just continuously going to allow the system to perpetuate violence, allow young people to fall victims to the system and continuously harm the communities that they're going to be returning to.
Some of these alternatives include wearing ankle monitors, sitting down with families to get parents involved, and finding responsible adults to help with the children.
We know that kids that end up in our juvenile detention facilities and deep within our juvenile justice system often have worse outcomes in terms of education and just overall outcomes. So we're really trying to partner with folks to ensure that we have community-based alternatives.
For those advocating for alternative programs, help now could mean a better future for misguided kids.
The impact that the system had on my own personal life could have easily led me to being either, again, further into the justice system and possibly being there for the rest of my life. When I'm promoting alternatives, it's because there's the fundamental belief that young people are capable of change.
According to the JDAI, kids that don't have access to alternatives are less likely to graduate from college and get a job, and more likely to end up back in detention facilities and in our court systems.
JDAI was founded over 20 years ago, and in their 2014 progress report stated that they are now able to reach over 1/4 of the total U.S. youth population. 3,000 languages now spoken worldwide are at risk of disappearing by the end of this century. That's according to UNESCO. And Indigenous languages are the most endangered. Cronkite News reporter Yahaira Hawkes traveled to a small town in Cuauhtemoc, Mexico, where one people's language could become extinct.
Tarahumara Indians have made Mexico's Sierra Madre region their home for centuries. Modern-day Tarahumara leave their mountain dwellings during harvest season to earn a living. These workers are catching a 6 a.m. bus that will take them to apple orchards. During this time, the Tarahumara come from La Sierra, which are the mountains that surround us, to work in the towns and pick fruit. They've realized that they need to learn Spanish because the people that they work for don't know their native language. A rare case is my grandfather, who learned the Indigenous language as a kid and still uses it today.
Knowing the language helped me because before a lot of them didn't speak Spanish, so I interpreted for them too.
There are about 85 indigenous languages spoken in Mexico, and many are in danger of extinction.
It's a lot harder for them to go on with their day-to-day lives just speaking that indigenous language, so they adapt similarly to immigrants here and acculturate to the Spanish language.
The Mexican government passed a linguistic rights for indigenous people law in 2003, including the right to have legal documents translated to their native tongue. Critics say the law is not always enforced, and protecting native languages is about more than preserving the past.
Language is very powerful in terms of their own identity and future, right? In their future identity, not just like, this is who my parents were, it's also, this is who I am.
My grandfather is now the only one in this small town of 1,600 who is fluent in the Tarahumara language, serving as a bridge between Spanish speakers and native people.
Those who spoke the language left. Now, it's just me.
He remains a lone voice for the Tarahumara Indians who still need translation in a region where younger generations risk losing their native language. In Chihuahua, Mexico, Yahaira Hawkes, Cronkite News.
Spanish is not the official language of Mexico. The 1917 Mexican Constitution lists Spanish as one of the many national languages. It is the dominant language, but in recent years, Mexico has done more to preserve native tongues.
One Valley bus union has voted to strike, but they're hoping to rally support and get a contract signed. Cronkite News reporter Alicia Leonage was at the rally and has details on what's keeping both sides apart.
The Amalgamated Transit Union, Local 1433, has been negotiating with Transdev since April on bus driver employee contracts. Drivers say they don't want to strike, but they're upset by a lack of progress. Dozens of people gathered at the Phoenix City Hall. The Amalgamated Transit Union, Local 1433, labor leaders and Phoenix residents held signs chanting and protesting the labor conditions of Phoenix City bus drivers. The union says they want fair treatment of workers and they want better terms in the contract offered by Transdev, otherwise known as Veolia, a foreign for-profit bus service contractor.
No, we just want the company to back us up. That's all we ask.
There are several sticking points according to the union. First, employees wouldn't get a paycheck. They'd be paid on a type of debit card. Second, the new contract would eliminate bus passes for family members of employees. And third, they'd replace uniform allowances with a uniform voucher system. ATU president says he wants the city of Phoenix to step in, since they chose Transdev as contractor and have helped with the negotiations in the past.
I would definitely rather them find an American-based company that's going to treat the employees properly and keep the money in the U.S.
Yet, City of Phoenix spokesperson Matthew Heel says they will continue to use Transdev as a bus service contractor.
This contract was procured through a competitive procurement and is one of the best in terms of value for the tax dollars that we're spending.
The union and bus drivers aren't the only ones who want change. Local residents like Phoenix bus rider Dominique Christian says she stands united with the bus drivers and the union.
They deal with a lot on a daily basis, and they deserve to be treated a lot better because of what they do deal with.
Christian says she will stop using all forms of transportation in support of the bus drivers. If the contract isn't revised and approved by October 15th, Transdev says it will cut employee pay by 0.5%, and that same cut will go into effect if the union strikes before then. In the Broadcast Centre, Alicia Leonard, Cronkite News.
Arizona State's ice hockey team played its first NCAA Division I game Saturday night at Gila River Arena. They defeated Arizona, who plays at the club level in the American Collegiate Hockey Association, 8-1. Head coach Greg Powers was ecstatic that this moment had finally arrived.
It's a dream come true. It really is. For me and for so many people that have supported and ran this program for years, to have an atmosphere like that tonight and a win like that in front of a lot of fans and in a great arena, it really is. It's a dream come true.
It was unbelievable to see the crowd and the atmosphere and just everyone coming out and showing their support. And I mean, hockey's not big in Arizona, and it's a humbling experience to be a part of.
While this is Powers' first season as a varsity hockey coach, it is his 8th season on the coaching staff.
I've never predicted it. I never thought it would happen. I'd always hoped it would happen. And I'm just honored to be a part of it.
Arizona State players describe playing their first game at the varsity level at Gila River as unreal.
Oh, I think it was unbelievable. I don't think I ever played in that big of an atmosphere, and the student section was unbelievable, so can't wait to see what this year comes.
The boys didn't know what to expect. We walked out and there was already a ton of crowd in the warm-ups, and we were like, oh, this is going to be sweet. And then we walked out for the national anthem, and just, you get the chills down your spine.
Connor Schmidt has previous NCAA Division I experience for Ferris State, which helped him score the very first NCAA goal for ASU hockey in program history.
After that, the boys were all asking about it, and it really hasn't set in yet, but I'm starting to think about it, and it's an honor. It's like something I can tell my grandkids, and it's kind of speechless right now.
Next up, the Sun Devils go on the road to Alaska to play their first varsity match against Alaska Anchorage on Friday. In Glendale, I'm Allison Cummings, Cronkite News.
Hi, I'm Judy Woodruff, co-anchor of the PBS NewsHour. Preparing the next generation of journalists has never been more important than it is now. With its groundbreaking partnership with Arizona PBS, the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication at ASU is revolutionizing journalism education to provide students with a real opportunity to work and learn under the supervision of veteran journalists, producers, directors, and editors on newscasts, investigative stories, and documentary productions. The Cronkite School and Arizona PBS, reinventing journalism education in the digital age.
Welcome back to @Cronkite News, our weekly refresh. Now, here's our digital download from cronkitenews.azpbs.org. The top clicks on stories, photos, and infographics making news across Arizona. Now, here's an @Cronkite News pick of the week, a favorite from the Cronkite News staff.
This season is a big one for the Symphony. They're playing Beethoven, performing Harry Potter-themed Halloween shows, and bringing in big names like Kristen Chenoweth. But these all seemed like distant dreams during the recession when budget issues plagued the organization. As Arizona's largest performing arts organization, the Phoenix Symphony makes a lot of sound. But 2008 and 2009 brought severe challenges to the organization.
The Symphony was about a week away from bankruptcy. The Symphony was spending too much money for what it was taking in.
Before Ward took over, musicians took a 19% pay cut and were promised a restoration payment the following summer. That did not happen.
And our musicians fundamentally had a very, very tough choice. They could go along with somebody brand new coming onto the scene, or they could have decided to walk.
Phoenix Symphony starts planning their future seasons 2 to 3 years in advance, but they coordinate with Symphony Hall up to 5 years in advance, something that in 2008 seemed like an impossible feat. Ward started fresh. He established a new board and a new mission and prepared his staff for the challenges ahead.
There have been a lot of ups and downs. The positive thing I can say is the Phoenix Symphony has kept going through all of these.
Musicians account for about 50% of the overhead in any symphony, but for many in Phoenix, music came first.
They decided to put the needs of this community before their own needs to keep music alive in Phoenix.
In the 4 years since the turnaround process began in late 2010, overall revenue has increased by 74%, and attendance is up 25%. Seasons are planned so far in advance because they have to share hall space with both opera and ballet productions. In the Broadcast Center, Jennifer Souls, Cronkite News.
Cronkite News tracks your likes, tweets, and shares from all our social sites to bring you this news special. At Cronkite News, our weekly refresh. Join the conversation so you choose the news. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to us on YouTube, and log on to cronkitenews.azpbs.org for top Arizona stories anytime.